Thank you, Sundaran Prabhu. Thank you, Hemangi Mataji, for reading Srimad Bhagavatam today. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashtamekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Kripam Vidittamaham Prapadye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Vakam karoti vachalam pangum langete girim yatkrupa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So today we are seeing in this section, so Lord Krishna was joined by the gopis for the rasa dance, and suddenly Lord Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance. So the gopis, their minds are fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. They started looking for Krishna in so many different various forests. And then they are all seeing all the moving and non-moving things in the nature, Prakriti. They started asking, everybody, where is Krishna? Even the creepers, trees, bees, so all of the moving and non-moving things. So finally, they were not able to find Krishna, and they started making some pastimes of Krishna. Because they were so much absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, they were started doing these pastimes. So later on, while they were wandering in the forest, they saw Krishna's footprints, which was appeared to be mixed with Radharani's footprints. So therefore, um, they got perturbed, and then they declared that, definitely it must have been Radharani, must have worshipped Krishna with the super excellence devotion. She's so privileged to have Krishna's association. So we'll just go through these verses. Yesterday, we have seen how the gopis were in mode of separation. Now today's verses, starting from verse number 14, now they started enacting some pastimes of Krishna. This is what we do in the festivals for drama, right? We are enacting pastimes. The audience, as well as those who are enacting, they also get absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. So it's all basically smaranam, remembering Krishna's pastimes, which would actually make us forget, or which would actually take us into the transcendental atmosphere where we would not be attached to the temporary. Will be This is actually one of the ways we can associate with the eternity, satsang, right? Satsanga is associating with the Lord, His holy name, pastimes. So starting from verse number 14, we can see how um, here Sukadeva Goswami is elaborating now that their gopis were distraught from searching from Krishna. They were began to act various pastimes, and anu anuchakrutas tad atmikaha leela bhagavatastasta. So Krishna nevashana kataraha. So Bhagavata, like pastimes of Krishna, they acted, and they tad atmikaha, they are so much observed in the thoughts of him by acting these pastimes. So now we understand, like when we do drama in the temple, it takes a lot of absorption to be able to do in actually full absorption. We can act. There are different ways we can act. We can act just from a point of how the director is teaching, but with a full absorption when we are acting, that is a different mood that totally takes us into the pastimes of Krishna. So the gopis were actually in full absorption of Krishna. They were acting like that, and they were actually visualizing when they are doing this drama. They were visualizing Krishna, and they were feeling Krishna very close to them. So that is the reason they were doing it. Like if you look at this whole pastime, now Krishna is suddenly disappeared. They wanted to feel the presence of Krishna. What they did was enacting these pastimes. So by enacting these pastimes, they could feel the presence of Krishna. That means you can understand these pastimes are non-different than Krishna. So that is one of the understandings that we get from Shastra. So here, starting from the Putana's pastime, Putana Leela, where Krishna kills Putana. So Putana wanted to kill Krishna. Baby Krishna was very few days, just born baby, few days old. Um, Putana being a woman, Krishna actually closes his eyes and then, oh, the first, should I have to kill this demon who is in the form of a woman? And then Putana started doing a little bit of favor, even though she's giving poisonous milk. Krishna thought, okay, she's acting like a mother, so I'll give you a position of Datri. So this is the verse. This is the verse actually. The Sukadev the Vyasudev, when he Sukadev Goswami left his home, this is the verse that he actually asked his disciples to sing, so that he gets attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. So, so Kimva Dayalu, like Krishna is so much. He's magnanimous that even he, somebody who came to kill Kimva Dayalu, so he is giving the position of a Datri. That is, so the gopis started enacting that. One gopi was like a Putana, and then another acted like an infant Krishna. They were drinking milk like that, and then another was crying in imitation of infant Krishna. So there was a one other pastime where the cart demon Krishna actually kicks him. So Sakatashura, that pastime also they were enacting. So in all of these pastimes, one thing is common, that whichever may be the pastimes of Krishna, the actually the essence is the just observing in his thoughts. These this Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. So, like one time, Prabhupada, they used to ask a question, why do we have to read all this Mahabharat war? The characters, it's so complex, and then Prabhupada was explaining, because Krishna was there, it is also, connected to Krishna. So, Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe, whatever is related to Krishna, that becomes um, transcendental, because Krishna is participating in that whole pastime. So, because Krishna was there in Mahabharat war, the war became the point of discussion. We had to understand all the characters, and finally how Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. All of that is so important because Krishna was physically present there. So that is why when Krishna was present, that the whole thing, atmosphere changes, it becomes transcendental. So regardless of which demon, either it's Putana or Sakatasura or Agasura or Bakasura, any, doesn't matter which demon, but then when they enacting the pastimes of Krishna, because Krishna was there, that becomes an absorption in the thoughts of Krishna. And that is the central point. So now the gopis started imitating all of these pastimes, starting from he was a baby Krishna. And then they started Krishna Rama Ite Dvetu. So Gopayantyas the Kashchana. So like Balram, they used to call Rama, right? So Balram was called Rama. They acted like Rama and Krishna among several other Gopas. They were actually Vatsyayitam Hanti Chanya, like they were actually taking care of the calves, and then one demon appeared in the form of a calf, Vatsasura. So they acted Vatsasura's pastime, and then um, again the gopis also acted how the Lord killed Bakasura, in the Yatim, so another pastime where he was in the form of a crane. So Krishna, when you look at all of these demons, they're in different forms. One is in the calf form, the cow calf form. One is in the crane form. Another is in the horse form. So whenever Krishna deals with the different animals, if it's in a bull, he tries to control the nose ring. the nose and then tries to take the horn. If it's in the horse, Krishna actually puts in so much heat in the mouth, and then he controls the horse like that. Prabhupada used to say that there are different ways to control different animals, and when dealing with all of these demons, Krishna tackles them differently according to the how the form of the animal is. So here, and then the gopis started meditating, and then Krishna was growing up, and then he was tending the calves, and how Krishna used to call all the cows, who were wandered away, when he was playing his flute, and he was used to engage in various sportive activities. So like that, so one gopi is taking the form of Krishna, and another gopi is like congratulating Krishna, well done, well done. All of this pastimes they were enacting beautifully. So here, in one of the verses, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, um, so here, the gopis, it looks like the gopis were minutely observing and also hearing about the whole pastimes of Krishna, whatever happened in the forest. They were actually discussing, they knew in the small details of all this, so they were able to enact this among themselves. So this is another aspect of when we are actually doing a drama. So we read about what happened during Krishna's pastimes, and we are enacting all the small details would actually have to come out in the drama, so that makes the drama very beautiful. So here gopis also, it looks like they understood every detail, and they were enacting all of these details. So here it looks like it is said that Kashyanchit swabhunjam nyashya chalanti aha para nanu Krishno aham pashyate gatim lalitam iti tanmanaha. So here, when the gopis' mind was fixed on Krishna, they were walked about, her arm resting on the shoulder of a friend, and declared, I am Krishna. Just see how gracefully I move. So, and then another gopi was, they were enacting the pastimes of Govardhan Leela, where Lord Krishna lifts Govardhan. And now they were enacting that there's so much wind and rain. Now, how Krishna is going to save them. So, here, one time one devotee was asking Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and Maharaj, actually, while I'm chanting, can I think of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill? So there are a lot of devotees ask this question when I'm chanting. I can I think of Krishna? So the immediate answer, many of the, even including Prabhupada, says you just focus on Krishna's holy name, and then hear attentively. But that time, Maharaj looked at the person and he said, "Okay, that is fine." So you can think of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill. So the point is, spontaneously when the thoughts of Krishna's pastimes comes, it is auspicious. It is very auspicious. But we don't have to just put ourselves in the trying to do something artificially. So when we chant the holy name, if naturally Krishna's pastimes comes to the thoughts, it's very auspicious, and that is how we can remember Krishna by all of these pastimes. Krishna did all of these pastimes for us to remember these various pastimes and the various details, so that there is so much joy, there's so much relishment in it. So that is why the gopis also relishing so much, and they're able to, so they when they are relishing these pastimes, it is not, um, it is the details of the pastime as well as Krishna being absolute truth. Krishna is manifesting in their hearts, even though they are in separation from Krishna, but Krishna is actually manifesting in their hearts. So, and then Sukadeva Goswami goes on. Now the gopis were enacting how the Kaliya Damana Leela, how the Kaliya was, Krishna was dancing on the Kaliya, um, and then Krishna was punishing the Kaliya. So, Kalanam, Kalanam Nanu Dandakrut. So they were saying that actually I've taken birth to punish you because you are envious. So this is chastising Kaliya. And then they were also performing the pastimes how Krishna was able to swallow the forest fire. And then Sukadeva Goswami also elaborates how. Um, so now the mother Yashoda's pastime where Krishna is stealing the butter, the butter pots. So all of these pastimes the gopis were imitating in the all the forests. They're asking even the Vrindavanat Latas Tarun. So all of the creepers and trees they were asking, and they suddenly happened to see his footprints in the corner of. So this is the verse where they're now their approach of finding Krishna. They just suddenly started taking different direction. So evam Krishnam prachamana Vrindavana latas tarun. So they were asking the creepers of Vrindavana. Now suddenly padani parimatmanaha. So they were seeing that there is a footprints of Lord Krishna. So in that footprints, they were seeing some flags that were actually on the Krishna's footprint. So Nanda Sunur Mahatmanaha Lakshante hi Dvajamboja Vajra Kusha Yavandibihi. So they were actually Vajra, like the thunderbolt, elephant, gourd, barley corn, and there is also a lotus. Nanda Sunor Mahatmana. So this is son of Nanda Maharaj. It is the gopis were saying this is definitely son of Nanda Maharaj. It belongs to a great soul who is son of Nanda Maharaj. So now in the commentary, we can see that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives elaborate details on symbolic markings. What does this markings means on the Krishna's lotus feet? So he gives quotes from Skanda Puran. So from Skanda Puran, Krishna carries the mark of a flag and also other marks. There is some reasons for these marks. So Dakshinasya Bhadangushta Mule Chakram Vibharti Ajaha Tatra Bhakta Janasriyashri Sat Varga Chadhanaya. So at the base of the large toe on the Krishna's right foot, the unborn Lord carries the mark of a disc, chakra, so which cuts down the six enemies of his devotees. So, and then at the bottom of a middle toe of the same Supreme Lord Achyuta has a lotus flower, which increases the greed for him in the minds of bee-like devotees who meditate on him. So, and then for every the mark, there is actually a verse that is quoted from Skanda Puran. So I'm just giving the meaning. And then the thunderbolt, the meaning of thunderbolt here is reactions to past sins. It smashes all the mountains of his devotees' reactions to past sins. And in the middle of his heel is the mark of elephant goad, which brings the elephants of his devotees' minds under control. Boga Sampan Mayam Date Yavan Angushta Parvani. So the large toe bears the mark of barley corn, which is representing all kinds of enjoyable opulences. Vajram vai dakshina parshve ankusha vai tad anugrataha. So, and then there is a thunderbolt found on the right side of his right foot and elephant goat below that. So these are some explanations given from Skanda Puran by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. So, and then it is also mentioned that since the particular feet under discussion are Lord Krishna's, we should know that thunderbolt is at the base of his small toe and the elephant goat below the thunderbolt on the heel belongs rather to Lord Narayana and other Vishnu Tattva expansions. So these are the six marks on Krishna's right foot, like the disc, flag, lotus, thunderbolt, elephant, goat, and barley corn. So there is also an explanation from Vaishnava Toshani. So this is also one of the names of the publications started by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So here it says that the vertical line beginning at the middle of his foot and continuing as far as the juncture between his big toe and second toe, an umbrella below the disc and the base of middle of the toe. So all these descriptions as it is appeared in Vaishnava Toshani. So again, finally, the Vishnati Chakravarti Thakur commentary, it is mentioned. Left foot, Krishna's left foot. At the base of the large toe is the conch shell with his mouth facing the toe. At the base of the middle toe are two concentric circles representing the inner and outer sky. So altogether, then there are 19 distinguishing marks at the soles of Krishna's lotus feet. So both right and left foot, they're actually describing on the purport. So now the gopis thought process changed. They began to again follow the footprints to see where Krishna actually went. So now they were seeing there were intermixed with other footprint. So they were saying Vada Padai Su Prakrutani. So here it says, and then they were just discussing among themselves. This must be a special consort, I know. So Abhala Vadhva, like special consort, and now they are perturbed. Now, on the coming verses, they were saying Kashya Padani Chaitani Yaitaya Nanda Sunana Amshan Nyashta Prakashodhaya Kareno Karina Yataha. So here they were saying that so this they are kind of so here also the absorption of Krishna is so intense that they were trying to even understand what Krishna was doing, while he was walking, how the footprints were deep and how the footprints were shallow. They were trying to decode everything because there's so much absorption thoughts of Krishna. So, so just like they were giving an example, just like an elephant's rests his shoulder on another elephant. So here Krishna must have been resting on a shoulder of the gopi. That's why the footprints were like this. They were kind of, so one footprint was on not visible, only one, and then it's mixed with the gopi. So they kind of understanding what actually Krishna was doing. And in the last few verses, it is mentioned that this gopi was definitely very, very powerful. Ana Anaya Araditaha Noonam Bhagavan. So here it's mentioned that she perfectly worshipped Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Hari Ishwaraha. So here, so we can understand that gopis were not only considering Krishna as their beloved lover, they also know Krishna actually the Supreme Lord Hari. So, and yanno vihaya govinda prito yam anayat raha. So now they are saying that he was so pleased with her that he abandoned all of us and he brought her to secular place. So now Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains the word araditaha. Now it refers to Srimati Radharani. So he comments the Sukadeva Goswami has tried to hide her name, but it automatically came out. Just like, we cannot hide a moon. So it shines forth from the moon of his mouth. So then now he has spoken her name. Indeed, is her mercy. And thus the word Araditaha is like the rumbling of kettle drum sounded to announce a great good fortune. So in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, Radharani's name comes indirectly here only. So, although the gopis were jealous of Srimati Radharani, actually they were ecstatic to see that she had captured Lord Krishna. So here also in the Ujjvala Nilamani, Rupa Goswami also says how the Radharani footprints is also being described here. And then going on the further verses. So here the gopis were saying that Govindangri Amja Renavaha Yan Brahmeshau Rama Devi Dadur Muhurdani Agranutaya. So they were saying that the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Govind is so sacred that even Lord Brahma, Shiva, and Goddess Rama Devi, and they all take that dust and they put it on their head to dispel sinful reactions. So here the finally last two verses, verse number 30 and 31. So these footprints of that special gopi greatly actually disturbed us. Of all the gopis, she alone has taken away to a secluded place. So now they were glorifying Srimati Radharani, how she was so special. She captured the heart of the Lord, and so now then the last verse for today, last verse number 31. So these verses are very different in Srimad Bhagavatam. Generally, the verses are like 4 lines, 5 lines. So we can see these verses are like 6 lines, seven line, 8 lines like that. It's a very different meter and different alankar. So na lakshante padani atra tasya nunam trunu kurai kidyat surantangri talam unninye prayashim priyaha. So now the gopis were saying suddenly Radharani's footprints vanished, and they were thinking that Krishna must have lifted her, and then um, finally the the gopis actually in the verse number 31 they were again praising how Krishna Radharani is so special that Krishna must have lifted, and the weight of because of her weight the footprints are so deep, so that was so the word Vadam indicates that even though Lord Krishna was not officially married to Radharani, he had in fact made her his bride in Vrindavana forest. So the gopis also use the word Kaminaha here to indicate that we actually love Sri Krishna, but still he has rejected us. Therefore, his private dealings with Radharani prove that this young prince of Vraja has carried her away with because of lust. If he were interested in love, he would have accepted us instead of cowherd girl Radharani. So these thoughts basically reveal the mood of gopis who are rivals of Srimad Radharani. Of course, the gopis or who are her direct allies were jubilant to see her good fortune. So this is called the sulky mood. Even though the gopis were so much in love with Srimati Radharani, they were actually feeling this sulky mood and they're expressing their heart. So Hare Krishna, this concludes the last verse for today. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vranda ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vanchakalpatrubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo vachaha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.